Mark Brown.
And I'm Markway McCullough. And this is Mark My Words.
People ask me all the time, like, how can you teach me how to edit, things like that? And I don't know if they think I'm being mean or smart. Yeah. I was just like, bro, literally get on YouTube and you can find out anything you want to do.
Welcome back to Mark My Words, ladies and gentlemen. We got a special guest here, but before we introduce Ryan, man, I want to introduce guys Jay Duke. He's on the show with us. Excited to have him. You know, and shout out to Markway as well. No, he's not here. But back to Ryan, man. How you feeling, bro?
Good, man. Good. It's 7? So we right on time.
Yeah.
Getting started for the day, Friday. Yeah. So all good.
Man, this is a different view for you, man. You know, typically you're usually behind the camera,
right?
You know, now you're in front. Man, how does it feel? Is it weird or is it?
It's like I always, when I'm shooting, try to think about what it's like to be in this perspective. Okay. So it kind of started off a little weird, but I mean, as we got to talking, it's just settled down, so it's all good.
Yeah. So, man, from Jackson, Tennessee, but you're no stranger to Nashville, man. Man, you know, Nashville's growing. How's it been for you? How's Nashville treated you?
So I actually moved to Clarksville for college back in like 2009. Okay. Went up to Austin P. So I'm familiar with Nashville. I got family up here. Right. So I did 2009 to about 6 to 7 years in Clarksville. And then I started to get familiar so I started shooting with Markway in Clarksville. Right. A couple of years ago, shooting basketball with him. After, I guess, a year into it, started hearing about the kid, Darius Garland. Okay. Because I've always worked in Nashville. I have my day job, I work in the hospitals where I train staffs on how to use our technology. Mm-hmm. So I'll travel. So that's why if you could see me on Instagram and I'll be in Philadelphia or if I'm in DC, something like that, it's probably for work, like a day job. Okay. But in doing that, started to venture into that creativity field. Okay. So Markway helped me kind of get into the span of sports and kind of zero me in basketball. So I think we all, me, Markway, Adison even have worked with the kid. Why am I drawing a blank? Austin. Yeah, Austin Fisher. Okay. So he played at Clarksville Academy.
Oh, kid's at Ball State?
Yeah. Okay. Light-skinned kid. Yeah. He's nice. So captured him scoring, I believe it was his 2000th point. Okay. That season, his senior season. In between that, I know you mentioned Kentucky earlier. Right. I would bounce around to Hopkinsville. Yeah. So Hopkinsville has the kid, Kiki Tandy. Yeah. So I spent a lot of time with him after shooting for Austin in the senior year of his time. So just that kind of vested me in the Clarksville, kind of got my hobby started. Right. And then where I kind of got Nashville in the mix is when I heard about Darius. Mm-hmm. So, and hearing about DG, swung down to a couple games. Really, honestly, wish I could have. Didn't realize where it was gonna swing, so I wish I could have caught more. Right. But DG, being in Brentwood, that was a long drive from Clarksville to Brentwood, so it was much easier to do the Clarksville to Hopkinsville. So Kiki was more exposed to too, so it was just always a show.
And Hoptown, they got some hoopers, man.
They do.
They got some hoopers.
They do. I think they're slept. Kentucky, maybe. I don't think it's always been slept on because it's a basketball state per se. But I think high school basketball lately has been slept on in Kentucky, as well as Tennessee.
I mean, you get, Lexington gets a lot of pub. You know, you got Louisville. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, Hoptown, man, which we had a kid, James Nicholas, who played at Hoptown, and he played with
yeah, James from he could shoot. I think I caught him doing a game winner. He hit a game winner in Clarksville against Kenwood.
That sound like James.
Yeah, and he found me as soon as he he found me. So that's the boy. So and I got Scotty Hobson.
Yeah.
I got
for sure.
I can't
for sure.
And Tashawn Edward.
Yeah.
Edward. I can't say his last Edmondson.
Yeah.
I think. He went to Austin P.
Right. So, I mean, we mentioned a lot of names of some some big time athletes. Crazy summer.
Yeah.
Outside of the gym, dealing with social injustice and COVID.
Facts.
But even with inside, our safe haven, the gym, man, it's been a crazy summer for you in particular.
Right.
Working with guys like DG, Scott Clark, the 615 Pro Run, as well as you traveling and capturing. I think you did some stuff with Vandy. You did the Vandy Georgia game.
Yep.
Doing stuff with Slam, man. How is? It's been a busy schedule, man.
Yeah. I mean, this year we got Slam that took effect. So I started off shooting a little bit for Bleacher Report, which is kind of how I got into that side of the basketball videography game.
Right.
And that's just from, somebody put my name down on the Instagram for Bleacher Report. Guy reached out, see if I was interested in shooting in a tournament called the Grind Session in Paducah, which they bring all the big names. So started off shooting for them, switched up to Slam. Slam started putting me in stuff like the Georgia Vandy game.
Right.
Called Anthony Edwards, probably top 2 draft pick. So dunked on one of the kids from Vandy.
Yeah.
Like Vandy, I think they love and they hate seeing me because like I'm only there. It's like Kentucky.
Yeah.
Or like I love to support Vandy, but I mean
it's
you got
the opposing team.
There's got to be some solid comp. Like they had Saban. They got some tough players.
Yeah, Saban's nice.
Yeah, but I mean they bring in some amazing competition.
Yeah.
So I've been grateful for Slam for that. I mean, these like the tournaments that we go to in Paducah, man, they're crazy lit. Like Jalen Green, Isaiah Todd. I think we saw at least 3 or 4 of the G League select players.
Okay.
Just an hour down the road going to see them. So that's been a big help. And then got the opportunity to film with another G League select kid named Kai Soto, the 7'2", 7'3" kid from the Philippines. So spent 2 weeks in Cincinnati. So that's where I met Conk.
Okay.
Spent 2 weeks with him and his family. So that was pretty cool, just filming, kind of being the third wheel, just trying to get everything I can. So we're doing a couple episodes.
Okay.
So summer-wise, it's been nice. Got a chance to hook up with one of probably my favorite baseball players now, Mookie Betts. So we shot a lot of things, man. It's crazy how athletically, gifted dude is, and just how down to earth.
Right.
Is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just been a wild summer as far as who I've been able to work with. It just keeps going. Like this weekend, got a football game tonight. As soon as that's over with, heading out to South Carolina. We've been catching a lot of the top guys in the AAU circuit this past year.
Right.
Your J.D. Davidsons, your Matthew Clevelands, your who else? Mikey Williams, got a chance to work with him this year. Cool kid. Scott Clark, man, can't say enough about him.
Right, yeah.
He's probably one of the, I can't imagine these schools are recruiting him just solely off his talent because of just everything that he brings. He's not afraid to speak on like the BLM. He's not afraid to bring awareness to the matter. He's not afraid to bring change. So that's one of my favorite things about the kid.
It just seems like he's just on a different level. I personally don't necessarily compare him as far as athletic gifts or basketball point with it, but just as a human being, and he's young, but he seems so advanced here.
Yeah.
It's scary to what and he hasn't tapped into his full potential. So it's just scary to see or to even think like he can be this good on the floor, but he can also be this great off the floor.
Right. He's got great people around him too, man. One of the main reasons or reasons that I synced up and got probably so well acquainted with Nashville, Jamal Richardson.
Yeah, because
He's the trainer, probably the glue behind it all. At least for me, he kind of puts me in those places where I need to make connections. So, like, he was one of the hands, him and Adrian, Skill Wing, Marcus Kinzer. They put together the 615 Pro Run. Kind of an all-inclusion run of all their pro guys.
Right.
So you're bringing in guys like DG, you got Ian Clark,
AP.
Yeah, Alex Poitras, Perrin Love, Rob Mayberry, so many pros, man.
Yeah.
Mario Chalmers came through.
You got Rob.
Rob Covington. You got some draft prospects, Curtis. Gosh, can't think of his last name right now, but Curtis and Mile Workout.
Right.
People come down from Kentucky. Jalen Barford from Jackson.
Yeah, from Jackson.
Got a lot of people, man. It's a good time. It was kind of with everything that was going on, as far as the social injustice and just BLM and just COVID. I mean, we couldn't find a place. Like, we typically like to have that in Vanderbilt or TSU, kind of like a bigger space. We were blessed to have Josh Graves. He was the master behind it all, letting us get the access to the gym. So in that, we were able to kind of not have the big popular. Of course, Rashid, he had the 605. The Pro-Am was different, man. I feel like if we had it this year,
it might have been crazy.
Yeah, because he's always got something, man. I know he's down in Atlanta trying to get those guys to a mix. At one point, we were trying to get Ja Morant. And, like, because they had a little 901. Try to, everybody talks just to see who's better.
That would have been crazy.
Yeah, I was trying to get Ja. I was like, I'm done.
Ja would shut the city down for sure. Throwing school in there, man, and I know J. Duke he could probably attest to this. J. Duke, getting his undergrad in media communications.
Yeah, mass communication.
Any school experience with your line of work, or is it just more so?
Man, it's weird. I got my undergrad in marketing, got my master's in management at Austin P. I don't think I ever really took a class about cameras or doing anything. Marketing probably helped because it just kind of helped me see the bigger picture. A couple professors down there would always just talk about not necessarily what's in the books, but what's actually how to kind of move the ticker and connect and teach you is bigger than money. It's always about like the relationships and things like that you could build and where that can take you. So the biggest school for the video thing for me was YouTube, honestly. People ask me all the time, like, can you teach me how to edit, things like that. And I don't know if they think I'm being mean or smart. I was just like, bro, literally get on YouTube and you can find out anything you want to do. From sewing, embroidering clothes, making tie-dye, doing whatever. Like, whatever you want to do, it's on you. Somebody's done it. Fixing your relationships, swiping on Tinder, whatever you want to do. It's somebody's done it before. It's on YouTube. So that's the biggest thing my marketing department taught me, and that's like, don't reinvent the wheel. Like, just don't reinvent it. Just do something. So cameras has kind of just been I used to like it back in high school, kind of lost the art for it when I went to college, and then borrowed a camera for a few weeks. That turned into a few months, and then eventually got my own, and the rest is history.
I mean, you got an incredible resume as far as players you've worked with. Man, there seems to be kind of special ties between athletes, and I would call you artists. It seems to be a special relationship between athletes and artists. And what I think is unique about it is the respect between the two. Obviously as athletes, it's a grind. Whether it be training or playing or trying to get to the next level, whatever your next level is. But then I think you get that from an artist level. I mean, I'm sure you have certain levels or expectations that you have of yourself, and it's a grind for you, especially, you know, like you said, you know, you're here tonight, and then we're going to South Carolina, and then you may be somewhere else the next few days, and it's just continuous. But what's unique to me about it is the respect between the two, and when you do get both in the gym, it's like mad love.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I mean, I can only imagine that when guys see you coming in the gym, they light up. How does that feel?
It's definitely a good feeling, man. I would definitely, it's a respect level for sure. I mean, because you could, most of the time we're in the gym when nobody else is. So we're there when they're missing hella threes. Like, you're there at the low times. You're there to capture moments. And I think the biggest piece and what kind of, I think, draws that respect factor is what you put out. Because you have a lot of shady dudes out here that'll put out whatever they need to do to get views. That'll keep the cameras rolling. That'll try to record tidbits. That'll try to tweet things that, you know, that people should try to grow on, and instead of trying to hold them back or put them in situations that may get them caught up. Right. So I think it's a trust factor. And that honestly comes from time, man. Time and consistency, because these guys have videographers, photographers coming up to them all the time. Right. I even have, I've seen people like come up to them, like professional athletes, with their card. Like, hey, follow me on Instagram. Trying to build because they know somebody, there's a mutual benefit. So I think just earning their trust and respect is probably the first and biggest thing. Like Jordan Bone, I did his draft. Right. And he went 60, what's the last pick? 62nd? 63? 60,
yeah.
Whatever.
So he went like,
whatever the last pick
late
is.
50s. I know he thought he wasn't going to get picked.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Then he got picked, you know, last few picks.
Mm-hmm. So that was my first time ever meeting them. But I felt like we built a lot of trust just because, I mean, I think going into that, we thought we would be done recording around the 20th pick, 30th pick. And like around pick 33, 34, it's
like in this
you can
sick
just
feeling.
Feel the energy in the room. It's like just changing. And you still got the cameras rolling, and it's like, what are we doing? So around 58, they were giving the speech to kind of wrap things up.
Josh was giving a speech. Yeah.
He was like wrapping it up, saying, thank you guys for coming out, things and that. So I was like, might as well just record it.
Yeah.
And the little notification came, and all of that happened. Because there was times like where he would be in the back, him and his family, and I would ask do y'all want me to come back?
Right.
And that's kind of just like, I was like, man, it took me 10 minutes to even feel like if I even wanted to ask, because
right.
I know how I would feel. I've never been in that situation, but I know I wouldn't want anybody besides like my family in that room. And that's kind of what you become to a lot of these athletes when you're around them constantly, because like people, like when they follow me, they'll be like, Mookie Betts follows you? Like, what's going on? Like, and like you just hang out with the dude, and before you know it, you spent all day with the person and didn't even realize it. You're just recording. And so that's what my days with Kai were like. Every day I was recording for about 6 to 8 hours.
Right.
So it's just, you just become a piece of their family if you're doing it right.
Right.
But if you're in it for the wrong reason, they'll quickly see that you're in it for it.
Right. I mean, it's probably thousands of guys, you know, wanting to, you know, get a snapshot or, you know, video.
Facts. A
Sky or, you know, Mookie or DG or whoever.
Camera's only $500. If you want to go to Best Buy, or you can use your phone. I see that all the time too. I mean, everybody's a photographer, everybody's a videographer.
Yeah.
So, well, who's an artist, like you say, you got to form that relationship and keep that relationship. Like I text these guys and just keep it formal. Even my guy Damian Jones.
Right.
Like, I hop in the whip with him and we rode to a Hawks game. Like, he's warming up and I'm walking in with a professional camera with no credentials at all. Like I emailed the staff like, hey, just to make sure, like no response.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, you play for them, so. And they ain't say nothing. Whatever you need, man, your Dame's friend, whatever. I'm like, oh, this is different. I was like, I ain't never paying for a game again. So.
But I think with that, though, it's not losing sight of, again, one, the grind.
Right.
You grinded for that.
Facts.
You know, you just didn't pick up a camera and then you walked through the Atlanta Hawks arena. You know, you grinded, and then it was the relationships formed with these guys. And that's why, you know, I was excited to bring you on, man, to highlight that, you know.
That's what a lot of people, I guess, they miss in parts of getting those sidelines at, like, the Vandy games and having the G League select access. Like, all of that is, like, I started off doing Clarksville Academy, doing games, and during that next summer was, like, every weekend with NYBA, and they were the 8th grade, 7th grade team at the time, I think, because I saw Elijah. That was my first summer, and I did a tape for Elijah Fisher, this Canadian phenom, and he was in the 7th grade at the time. He still follows me. He's big time now.
Right.
So it looks like I've been on the circuit for 2 to 3 years, and in those 2 years it was tough. It sucked. I mean, you don't get the best games. You're recording, your backs. You hear, like somebody just dunked on you. You're looking, trying to see what's going on.
Right.
So, I mean, you got to get in where you fit in. And sometimes you have to be patient, man, because, I mean, it could all change. I've seen guys not videoing one day, and then the next year they're videoing in a pro.
Right.
So it's just, everybody's got their own cycle with it. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Speaking of NYBA, man, TJ Duke, that's big cuz right there.
Yeah. So, they got the program rolling, man. That's who I'm going. I'm going with the 2023 class to South Carolina, Rock Hill. So that should be. It's gonna be a long weekend, but they should be good. But all of their classes through like 2028, 2029, they all only see them winning.
Yeah. They big time, man. They TJ and them coach.
Yeah, you got them playing in all the national tournaments, and has it always been like that in Nashville? Like a local team playing, like we all can go. I guess has been the
WACG. I mean, I feel like they kind of had it out of the gate.
Yeah.
But even before then, and J Duke can probably attest to this. I don't know, man. I feel like, was it not kind of a drop off at one point
for the teams?
As far as AAU,
Yeah, we had the Tennessee Travelers, EYBL, and then after that, man, I don't really. I mean, my team, we were at Adidas, but we weren't like a gauntlet team. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because James was from Nashville, right?
James
Wiseman.
Yeah, he's from
He went to Innsworth.
Yeah.
Okay.
He played with Team Penny.
Team Penny. I'm trying to figure out, was there any? Because DG's from Indiana.
Yeah, DG's from Gary.
Yeah.
Then I think DG moved here 5th or 6th grade, maybe younger.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but he was with WACG, so
they brought him down here.
But yeah, it was, man. You had the Nashville Celtics, you had the Tennessee Travelers, and it slipped my mind. But you at one point, I mean, you had select few teams that can go out and compete nationally.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. I mean, I graduated 2011.
Yeah.
With JDQ was 2015, and it was just like,
just how I fell out of it.
Which that's another question, man. Around that time, I don't, and it's from a training and a photographer, videographer standpoint.
Right.
Like I don't remember seeing a Ryan Given at my games. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or working out with my Uncle Spence and Ma. I mean, if somebody was recording, it was from
like a video,
right, from a like a Razor or something like that, whatever was popular at the time. But it's just crazy to see how much the videographer game has grown and blown. Would you say it's competitive, or is it more so
It would definitely depend on who you know.
Right.
I feel like that's a competitive, yes, for sure. Based on like skill set, what you can do, but when it kind of comes to like who you know, and because like you could be the coldest videographer in nowhere North Dakota or something like that, and who do you have to film? But if you're around like Darius Garland or somebody like that every day, and you're just posting content, you're gonna it could be iPhone content, and it's gonna drive views. So I mean, definitely, like when you go to cities like Atlanta to record, it's wild 'cause it's like 20 cameras. Like I went to one game and I counted at least 20 to 25 cameras on the sideline, just like me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I started taking pictures because I knew everybody was doing video.
Yeah.
So, like at that point, that's how all the bigger companies more so. It's just like who's gonna be the first to get it up.
Right.
That's kind of the race of the game. Yeah. If you can bring two guys, something happens, I pop my SD card out, give it to him, upload it, I get all the views.
Right.
So it's a big race, and that's why over time, like with the camera, cell phone camera, it's hard to beat them because you could be leaving the game and they got the full mixtape dropping right now. I know Adison's been he's seen that before, but yeah, I mean it's definitely, I mean that's how they eat. I mean a lot of these companies with the YouTube views, and it's just whoever can get it out. But if you have the relationships to get you like behind the scenes content or like content people can't get, they'll pay for it.
Right.
So it's weird like with Sky, because I've had Ball is Life, all the companies.
I think he's about to say Ball All Day.
Oh nah. They can't. I know he can get his own. I let him work. But I mean, yeah, it's crazy how many, once they see you posting with somebody, they'll reach out to you to see what they can get so they can put for their own stuff.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I probably would too.
Right.
If I was in their hands and I couldn't get anybody in Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Right.
So
I think that's big for the city. Like you being here, because like we were talking about the guys, they came up like the teams and programs and stuff. We didn't have like the media wasn't like it is now. You know what I'm saying? Like if we had a prospect in the Nashville area, they would go play with an Atlanta team or a Memphis team. You know what I mean?
Just to get the exposure.
To get that exposure, and then now what you hear, it's like Nashville starting to, you know what I mean, kind of coming to their own. So I like that for this.
Man, I'm gonna throw a name out there, man. And man, I love this kid, JP at Hillsboro.
You getting them offers now,
right? And it's like going back to what Jaduk was saying. Yeah. In the past, you know, JP would go play with a Kentucky team, or even a West Tennessee team, a Memphis team. Just to get more exposure. But now with the likes of Ryan Gibbons, Ball All Day, Les Ball, E-Pope, Meg DeCam, it's like the kids can be themselves from where they are. And with the help of you guys, you know what I'm saying, coaches can hit a link or go to your page or follow you and keep kind of keep a lens on these kids, sort of speaking. And I think that's been big for the city.
For sure.
Hopefully we can get some more guys like the kid at East, Jalen Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to go elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can build yours here.
Yeah.
Be a staple in your own town, and people will come find you.
Yeah, so I'm hoping they get a chance to play this year, man. Yeah. Jalen is nice. I saw they just did the little, I think, prep hoops rankings.
Yeah, got the number one ranking.
I know he's hyped about that. Yeah. That's my guy though. Him, Isaiah, that whole class, man. Nashville has some. I want to say Marcel Reed. Nashville has some stars. I mean, if, like you said, they just stay within the city and don't venture out. And Nashville brings a lot of talent into There's a lot of surrounding counties and surrounding areas.
Yeah. Rutherford County, Williamson County.
For sure. Like
Wilson County, Lebanon, Mount Juliet area. Got the kid from Mount Juliet going to Lipscomb. Lipscomb, right?
Lipscomb's going to be nice. That boy Tommy Murr coming.
Yeah. Tommy Murr. KJ Johnson.
He's been. They got a lot of scores, man. Lipscomb. I'm waiting to see how TSU looks this year.
Yeah.
I like Austin P. I think Terry came back, as well as the guard. I think Jay. Jay is his name. He's really tough. I saw. Didn't JP just sign to Furman?
Yeah, Furman.
Yeah, big congrats to him. He's nice, but I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'll probably be at BA whenever I'm in town. No cap. I mean, that's just where I'm gonna be probably posted at.
Yeah,
like I love to come out to East and catch a game, but if it's
so it's a pecking order.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Right. So, supply and demand, man. Or a supplier and demand, even just piggybacking off of how you say you probably be at BA if you got a chance, opportunity to be out of BA and film Sky, but you probably check your phone and you got tens or if not hundreds of DMs or inquiries like, hey Ryan, can you come out here? Can you come watch my workout? You know what I'm saying? How is I would say mentally, how do you approach the band?
So that's an interesting question. Like early when I was starting, so like I'm still grinding for sure.
Right.
But like when I was heavy in it, like I'm answering probably most of, not every DM. If the kid's somewhat good, your Instagram can always tell a story and look really good.
Right.
And then you like show up. And
trust me, I know.
I think I did one game. Kid begged me to come out, man, and he didn't. He was on the bench.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, like I'm either getting. So I think you get like a year into it. Everybody hits that point where they start off, they're hot, they're excited about being in videography. Then they're like, man, I'm not getting paid.
Right.
So the money thing comes into a factor. So if you're gonna pay me to come do your workout, I'll show up for sure.
Yeah.
Some kids, like they'll feel like they shouldn't have to pay, and now I'll just be like, well, okay,
right.
Set up that iPhone, like, do what you got to do. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, but like some of my like the premier kids, like when it comes to the supply and demand, like a Sky Clark, I'll probably go just because like you got to be able to still see the value in some of those. Like Sky is one of those you're not gonna see a Sky Clark every day.
Right.
So I'm gonna he's 10 minutes away. I ain't got nothing else better to do.
Right.
I'll come record for sure.
And then how I like to look at it is, from a trade for a trade standpoint. I mean, Sky Clark has a platform. That is a platform.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's, you capturing Sky Clark, or even you guys, forming a relationship, you benefit from that as well.
It's a 50-50.
Right. And then obviously he benefits from it because, he has, a videographer or whatever, posting footage of him or whatever the case may be.
Right. It's just one of those, like, don't come to the table type situations if you don't have anything to offer.
Right.
Type deals.
Right. Or what I would you wouldn't.
I wouldn't say it like that.
Right. No, what I tell people at the end of the day, you provide a service.
Right.
So you're not going to go to the barbershop, or you're not going to go get a massage, or you're not going to go get your feet done, a pedicure or manicure, and just walk out. I appreciate you. My toes look good.
Facts.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to pay for that service?
Facts.
That's no different story here. So,
Facts.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. Leaving the game, you'll get kids. I got one kid, he had text me. He was like, hey, I'm that guy from the gym. and that was it.
Right.
And I was like,
it was like
I knew exactly who he was too.
Yeah.
Like, but I was like,
it's like 20 other
yeah,
yeah.
like I mean, cause you'll catch a kid, I almost dunked on him. Can you send me that? And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you missed the dunk.
Right.
And I just want to see how. I was like, nah, just delete it.
So, and I like that you mentioned that, dude. Like I said, you walk in the gym, you know, guys are excited that Ryan Givens or whoever is there. Do you, to some degree, do you think, and it not so more from your standpoint, the guy behind the camera, but
Right.
I'm a subpar, athlete,
Right.
and I see you come in the gym, or I see you posted up on the sideline, end zone, whatever, and instantly in my mind it's like,
I'm getting flicked up for sure.
I gotta turn up. You know what I'm saying? I gotta, fix my sleeve, or I gotta, fix my, whatever. Cause Ryan Givens is shooting, and I want to.
You'll see a lot of antics.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Do you think? I mean, is what it is, or do you just is that kind of a negative?
I'm not a fan of that.
Right.
Like, don't turn up just because I'm there, or videos or cameras are there. So, like, sometimes I won't. Like, we pulled out of the pro run sometimes just because, like, it's like everybody's coming just for like a mixtape type deal, or just to be on the camera or something. So, like, I'm not a fan of the turn up when the cameraman's there, because I'm not gonna always be there, and you should practice how you play. Right. So that's why I'm a big fan of those guys that I'm in the practice with, because they practice exactly how they play. Yeah. But yeah, you definitely will walk in the gym and you'll see the kids start interacting with the camera, like start fixing their stuff, getting
Man.
Yeah, like no layups.
That's what we call.
I promise you, if you walk in the gym during the layup line and they're just whatever lollygagging, but if you sit up like under the camera or under the goal like this,
yes, it's first team. What is it? First team on warm ups.
They finna turn up because they ain't trying to. Yeah, it's going somewhere.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And I'll ask them like, where is this in the game?
Right.
And layups in the game. I'm like, y'all. Boo-boo.
I mean, it's one thing, you get a poster. You know what I'm saying? You in the moment and you flex. That's one thing. But it's like when you like. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, why are you here, bro?
Yeah. You'll catch a lot of guys on the bench doing that. Like, somebody hits a three. Yeah. Like, they expect you to zoom over to the bench. Yeah. And they'll be like looking at you like. But I mean, it is what it is. I have fun. Yeah. I don't discourage it. Right. Like, definitely, I love interaction.
Right.
But don't just do it just like don't overdo it. Yeah. Like, me and Marcus Fitzgerald. Marcus was really good because he knows I'll be at like every Pearl Cone game, and he would play like nothing, like I'm not there, or like his style of play wouldn't change because I'm there or I'm not there. And he was a very emotional player. Like, he plays with a lot of emotion on his sleeve. So something like him and those kids, like, I never take for granted. Like, DG practice like they play, Sky like he plays. So Jordan Bone, he's definitely like he plays. Sure. So that's where you find out like who's really grinding. I can only imagine like kids like Jalen Jones. He's from his Instagram. Yeah. He's in the gym every day, all day. So he's grinding. He posts a lot. Right. Like, when it comes to social posting, I really don't think if you're like that, right, you got to post like a ton. But at the same time, if nobody's going to provide that exposure or grind for you, you got to be your own biggest fan. Right. So I love seeing what he's doing with that.
Yeah. So what's next, man? What's in store? What can we look forward to coming from Ryan Givens?
Long-term wise, just working, man. Continuing to keep traveling right now for the next few months, just trying to see what this COVID pandemic thing does, man. As grateful as I am for the summer I've had, there's some opportunities.
Right.
Some bigger, probably some more opportunities better in the long term for me once it clears up. Yeah. So I'd love to see that come to a halt so I can kind of see where I want to take the next step.
Yeah.
But I definitely love Nashville, so I like being here. People show mad love. Jamal and Spence, those dudes, man. I didn't know he's your uncle.
Yeah, Spence, my uncle. Yeah, my uncle and cousin. So.
Man, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But those dudes, man, they keep me going around here. So, just work and consistent videography with the basketball, man. Yeah. So, and football, my way.
Right.
So hopefully we get high school basketball.
Yeah.
I'm sure we will.
I hope so too, man. I think it'd be great for the kids. And like I said, obviously that push you to work, which I'm sure you love. It seemed like you love what you do.
Facts.
Seem pretty genuine about it, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what's in store for you.
Facts, and some SEC basketball.
Yeah, man, for sure.
I can't wait to get to Vandy. I know they can't wait to see me.
Right. So, well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Givens himself. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share to Ball All Day, and we'll catch you on the next episode.